Do this before bed and watch how money starts chasing you. Tonight, you don't fall asleep. You fall into wealth. As your head hits the pillow, two worlds meet, the conscious and the subconscious. And in that sacred seam, the final hour before sleep, lies the most magnetic version of you. Not the one trying to manifest through willpower during the day, but the one who creates by simply feeling before the lights go out. This hour, quiet, dim, unguarded, determines more about your financial reality than all your goals and vision boards combined. Because it's here, in this gentle descent into sleep, that your subconscious becomes the most impressionable, and whatever you impress upon it becomes your truth. Not someday, but now. Not theoretically, but energetically. And money? Money doesn't come because of how much you do. It comes because of who you are, or rather, who you believe you are. Most people go to bed rehearsing worry, scanning their mental inbox of bills, debts, and anxious forecasts. They relive smallness. They let scarcity narrate their bedtime stories. And they wonder why abundance avoids them. But you're starting to see it now, aren't you? The secret is not in asking for more. It's in being more, energetically, before you surrender into sleep. This hour before rest is a doorway, and what you carry through that doorway becomes law in the world you wake to. Right now, as you read these words, take a soft breath. Let your shoulders relax. Imagine you're stepping into a velvet blue cocoon, a space where trying is no longer required, where effort is replaced with ease. Imagine bills vanishing, accounts overflowing, opportunities landing without you chasing, and not in some distant future, but right now, behind your eyelids, in the realm of feeling. Can you feel it? That quiet thrill, just beneath the skin, that stir of certainty that doesn't need to make a sound to be real. That's the shift. You are not manifesting from desperation anymore. You are manifesting from identity, from alignment, from deep energetic knowing. Here's a truth no one taught you in school. You don't get rich by hoping. You don't call in wealth by fixating on lack. You align with it. You become the person to whom money naturally flows, and then it cannot help but find you. Not because you're chasing it, but because your magnetism makes it inevitable. And that magnetic field, it's built in this final hour before sleep. Before you close your eyes tonight, you won't fumble through affirmations or strain your mind for visualization. You'll simply sink into how it feels to already be whole, already be safe, already be wealthy. Not abundance in concept, abundance in sensation. Because your subconscious doesn't speak words. It speaks energy. That's why wishing doesn't work. But embodying everything changes. Feel this with me. You are lying in your bed, and there's a softness in the air, like something big is approaching you, quietly, quickly. You're not the one knocking on doors anymore. You're the one whose doors are being knocked on. You're not the one refreshing the bank app. You're the one expecting deposits with calm delight, because you've practiced the feeling of having. You've trained your body to memorize the vibration of fulfillment. And with that, you've become magnetic. Tell me, what would change if that were your default setting? What if going to bed wasn't just a pause on your goals, but the moment they rooted into your nervous system? Close your eyes for a second, right now. Press your palm gently to your chest. Breathe into the version of you who never worries about money again. The one who smiles before sleep, not because of what has arrived, but because it already feels done. Can you stay with that sensation a little longer? That shimmering certainty? That's the assignment. Every night, you don't need a 10-step plan. You just need to surrender on purpose. You just need to walk into sleep carrying one simple truth. I am already the wealthy version of me, and I feel how that feels now. From this night forward, the hour before sleep is your altar. It's where you stop chasing money and start inviting it home. You leave the day behind and step into a more expanded reality, one where wealth recognizes you because you finally recognize yourself. Change this hour, and you change everything. Why sleep is the secret to wealth. You think dreaming is something that happens to you. But what if the truth is this? Dreaming is something you do, not randomly, not passively, but deliberately. Every night, as your body slips into stillness, a door cracks open. A door to the part of you that never sleeps, your subconscious. And tucked behind that door is a hidden vault, not of gold, not of paper, but of energy, of belief, of blueprint. And that vault, day by day, funds your reality. Here's what most people don't know. Sleep isn't an escape from manifestation. It's the engine of it. You see, there's something magical that happens in the space between waking and dreaming. Your brain shifts gears. Your conscious mind, the part that overthinks, worries, and doubts, begins to quiet. And just beneath it, like a calm tide rising, your subconscious becomes receptive, open, hungry, even. This is the theta state, the deeply relaxed, hypnotic trance where your inner world becomes highly programmable, where suggestion becomes truth, where repetition becomes identity, and the cosmos listens more to identity than effort. You've been taught that the harder you work, the more you'll earn. But have you ever noticed that the people who seem to magnetize wealth often radiate something so different, so relaxed, so certain? That's not luck. That's alignment. They've trained their inner world to expect wealth, and the outer mirrors the inner every time. And guess what? You can do the same. In fact, your most potent tool for this isn't your to-do list. It's your pillow. Because in those quiet moments before sleep, your brain becomes soft clay, and your thoughts, they become the sculptor. If you drift off, replaying fears, it's not enough. I'll never get ahead. I can't afford that. You're whispering instructions into that clay. You're impressing your subconscious with lack. You're saving hopeless beliefs to your energetic hard drive. But if you begin to lay down each night with new words, new feelings, I am safe, I am supported, wealth loves me, and I love it back, something extraordinary starts to happen. The shift doesn't scream, it hums. Softly at first, you'll wake up feeling different, lighter. You'll check your bank account and not feel dread. You'll be walking to your car and suddenly remember, this is temporary. I'm already turning the tide. Your mood changes, then your momentum does, then your money. This isn't magic, and it's not delusion. It's neurological truth. It's spiritual law. The subconscious governs nearly 95% of your behavior. Yet you've been treating the 5%, your conscious mind, like it's where all the power lies. No wonder change felt slow. No wonder it never stuck. It's like planting a garden, but only watering the leaves. What you needed was to nourish the roots. Tonight, you begin tapping into the roots. You begin whispering new truths into your subconscious. I am not someone trying to get rich. I am a wealthy person remembering who I am. Wealth is not outside of me. It begins in me. It flows to me because it flows from me. And the moment those truths begin repeating in your sleep, they stop being ideas. They become assumptions. And here's the real secret. Assumptions harden into fact. This is why sleep is the secret to wealth, because you can't hustle your way into abundance with a subconscious trained in poverty. You have to rewire the soil first. You have to plant new seeds in the final hour. When the soil is soft, the mind is open, and the universe is listening with her ear pressed against your pillow. Let this become sacred. Let bedtime become the ceremony where you stop reciting the past and start rehearsing the future, not as a fantasy, but as a frequency you carry inside your chest. You don't ask for money. You become the version of yourself who already commands it, who has normalized it, who falls asleep with ease, not because the bank account is full yet, but because their being is full of certainty. You are no longer trying to convince the universe. You are training your subconscious to remember what it always knew, that you were never meant to chase money. You were meant to rest in the truth that money already knows your name. As consciousness dissolves tonight and you glide into the hush of sleep, let this awareness settle. Every night is a chance to draw a new blueprint, write a new code, determine a new energetic set point. You've been sleeping like someone waiting for the answer. Now, you'll sleep like someone who is the answer. And that's when wealth wakes up with you. Stop chasing, start receiving. Let go, just for a moment. Let yourself sink into the softness of now. No reaching, no striving, no mental math. Just you, breathing. Can you feel the shift already starting to settle in your chest? You've been taught to chase, taught to make noise, stay busy, strategize nonstop. Hustle is what's glorified. Productivity has been worshipped like a god. But if you're honest, hasn't all that chasing left you more tired than rich? Maybe you've had fleeting moments of success, a windfall here, a raise there, but they came at a cost. And still, money felt like it was always running slightly ahead of you, just out of reach. Here's the truth no one told you. Chasing is an energy. So is receiving. And the two cannot live in the same room. When you operate from the identity of a chaser, you tell the universe, I don't yet have it. I'm not whole. I'm reaching. And the universe replies not with punishment, but with precision. It mirrors back exactly what you are. So you say, I need more. And the universe echoes, you need more. Wanting becomes an endless loop. The wanting of money, the longing for stability, the hoping for a breakthrough. All of it holds the same frequency. Lack. But here's another way. A softer, sweeter frequency. You don't chase money. You let it remember you. Because money doesn't follow pressure. It follows resonance. And when you move from chasing to receiving, something chemical and celestial happens. The grip around your desires loosens, and the current of abundance begins to bend in your direction. Not out of pity or coincidence, but because you stopped resisting it. And yes, chasing is a form of resistance, disguised as ambition. What would happen if, tonight, as you crawled under the covers, you didn't replay the day's to-do list or worry about unpaid bills? What if instead, You exhaled deeply, sank into your body, and whispered, "I already am abundance. I already hold wealth. I am the energy that money notices." Can you feel how different that is? The chase lives in the muscles of your jaw, in the furrow of your brow, in the rapid-fire thoughts that kick up just as you're about to fall asleep. It's the subconscious signal of scarcity, disguised as problem-solving. But in the seconds before sleep, your walls lower, your mind quiets, your subconscious awaits instruction. And if you bring the same frantic frequency into that portal, money will keep running. But when you relax, receive, soften into trust, you invite wealth to rest with you. Receiving doesn't mean doing nothing. It means doing from a different place, a place of knowing, not needing. You don't need to obsess over the how not tonight. Tonight, you tune into the part of you that knows things shift when you allow them to. You let the bed become sacred ground. You make your pillow a portal of trust. You close your eyes and remember, you are already enough. You are already paid. You are already chosen. And in that stillness, money feels safe to arrive. If you want to practice to take with you tonight, try this. As you lay in bed, place one hand over your heart and the other over your belly. Feel the weight of them, the warmth, the rhythm. Then imagine this, a golden current of receiving, soft, swirling energy, entering through the crown of your head. Let it fill your chest, your core, your legs, your feet. Let it wrap around your body like a blanket. Breathe into it. With each inhale, say gently in your mind, "I receive." With each exhale, whisper, "I let go." Repeat until it becomes a hum in your body. You'll know it's working when the tension melts and that quiet sense of yes begins to rise. This is the switch. It's subtle, but it's holy. And it's how you stop chasing. From this place, this calm, magnetic, luminous identity, money can't help but come closer. Because now it doesn't have to fight through your fear to find you. It feels welcomed, appreciated, expected. You were never meant to run after abundance. You were designed to attract it. So tonight, don't try to manifest. Just feel yourself worthy. Feel yourself already arrived. Drop the chase. Step into receiving. Money isn't the goal. You are. And now you remember. The night you became abundance. Tonight is no ordinary night. Tonight you meet the wealthiest version of yourself, not in your bank account, not in a spreadsheet, but in the mirror you've walked past 1,000 times without truly seeing. This chapter isn't information, it's initiation. Because before money manifests in your hands, you must first allow it to dwell in your energy. And to do that, you don't need to do more. You need to remember who you already are. Every night before bed, you hold an invitation in your fingertips. And most people use that moment to worry about bills, about lack, about what didn't go right today, or what won't go right tomorrow. They replay a life they no longer want, and then wonder why it greets them again. But not tonight, because tonight, you become abundance. Not one day, not soon, right now. Close your eyes, just for a second. Imagine you're not reading this in your usual skin. You're wearing a new frequency. One where money, opportunity, ease, and yes luxury orbit around you like trusted friends. Picture it. Your posture just shifted, didn't it? Your breath deepened. That wasn't make-believe. That was you tasting truth. That feeling, that's your original setting. Wealth isn't something you earn. It's something you remember. Here's the secret. Your subconscious doesn't care whether your abundance is physically here or simply felt. It listens not to fact, but to feeling. So when you let yourself slip into the emotional skin of wealth, when you wear it like your favorite fragrance before drifting off, your subconscious accepts it as law. And from that law, it builds your tomorrow. That's the shift. Tonight, you're not going to bed as someone seeking success. You're going to bed as someone who's already found it. You're not whispering wishes into darkness. You're declaring identity into the cosmos. Try this. After your evening routines are done, after your phone is away, after the world has softened, stand in front of the mirror. Look beyond your tired eyes. Look deeper than your haircut or your job title or the thoughts that try to say you're not enough. Look until you meet your soul. Then, say these words, not as a hope, but as a knowing. I am wealth. I am peace. I am already the version of me that money loves to be around. Repeat it slowly. Let it echo, not just in your ears, but in your cells. You're not becoming something new. You're shedding what was never real to begin with. Scarcity was taught. Abundance is truth. Then, as you lay in bed, breathe. Let each inhale pull in ease. Let each exhale dissolve any heaviness you once carried. Pretend your bed is a throne. Pretend the universe has already wired in your next promotion, your next surprise deposit, your next proof that you're magnetic, because it has. The only variable is whether your energy is open enough to allow it. Now, this is important. Write your night notes. Keep a small journal by your bed, and before your eyes drift closed, write as if tomorrow already lived inside your bank account. Write a day in the life of the wealthy you. How do you move? What do you wear? Who do you text? What's on your calendar? Expansion or exhaustion? Make it specific, but not strategic. This isn't a to-do list. It's an energetic declaration. By writing from the perspective of your abundant self, you carve new grooves in your subconscious. And where the mind travels, the body and reality must follow. Remember this: you don't manifest money by showing the universe how badly you want it. You manifest it by showing the universe who you already are. The version of you who lives in overflow is not distant. They're waiting for you in the next breath, the next thought, the next decision to stop arguing for your limitations. The reason manifesting works best before sleep is because you're already relaxing out of resistance. The ego is quiet. The mind is soft. That's when you become most magnetic. That's when truth can slip in like moonlight. Let it in. Let tonight be the night you stop dreaming of abundance and start dreaming as abundance. Lay your head down, not as someone wishing, but someone knowing. You don't need to see money show up first to believe. You need to believe first, so money knows where to go. Your subconscious is the bank. You've been taught that your wealth lives outside of you, in jobs, clients, bank accounts, or someone else's, yes. But the truth is more radical, more liberating, more magnetic. The most powerful vault you'll ever access isn't at your local bank or investment firm. It's behind your eyes, nestled quietly in the dark. Your subconscious mind is the greatest financial institution you will ever partner with. And the currency it understands? Belief. Every time you go to bed, you walk through a gateway that leads straight to that bank. And whatever you deposit there, every assumption, every emotion, every quiet declaration of identity begins to accrue compound interest, not in decimals, but in manifestations, money, opportunities, aligned action, unexpected gifts, miracles masked as coincidences. But here's the shadow. Most people are unconsciously overdrawing their inner accounts. They tuck themselves into bed with fear of bills, guilt about spending, memories of financial struggle. They affirm scarcity without meaning to, and the subconscious, ever loyal, ever obedient, doesn't judge. It doesn't question. It simply says, yes, as you wish. So let's shift that. Let's begin making deposits that will change your dividends forever. Because this is where real wealth begins. In the whispers between wakefulness and sleep, when the conscious gatekeeper slows down just enough to let new beliefs sink in. And this is where your money story rewrites itself. Not with force, not with frantic affirmations, but with embodied surrender. Close your eyes for a moment and breathe. Repeat quietly to yourself, I trust my subconscious to lead me into wealth. Say it again, softer this time. My subconscious is always creating opportunities for financial ease. Feel the vibration shift? That's not just you calming down. That's your inner bank opening its vault. Here's the truth that changes everything. Your subconscious has been interpreting your mood, your emotions, your most consistent inner monologue as instructions, not hopes, not wishes, instructions. So if deep down, you carry old beliefs like money doesn't come easy, I'm not good with finances, or we can't afford that, you've unknowingly set that as your personal financial blueprint. But now, you get to rewrite that blueprint before sleep, where resistance is silenced and your soul is more suggestible than ever. Tonight, begin the sacred ritual of scripting, not scripting outcomes, scripting identity. Write not as someone trying to become abundant, write as someone who already is. I love how money always finds its way to me. It feels so natural to be paid for being myself. I'm grateful for being financially free. Don't wait on evidence. Write it into existence. If a memory rises, something that left a scar around money, a moment of lack or shame, lovingly revise it. Not with delusion, but with conscious command. Imagine it ending the way it should have. Picture the version of you that felt safe, worthy, supported, even in that past scene. This isn't lying to yourself. This is recognizing that your subconscious can't tell fact from repetition. So you choose what gets repeated. You are not trying to manifest money. You are manifesting alignment with the version of you who already lives in abundance. And that version of you, they don't go to sleep worrying about bills. They go to sleep knowing the bank of the subconscious never closes, and that it's always attracting whatever aligns with their dominant assumption. So tonight, as your body softens and the veil begins to thin, treat your thoughts like currency. Spend only what expands you. Deposit only what magnifies your worth. Whisper truths like lullabies. I am the source of wealth. I don't wait for money. It arrives because I exist. Let these spoken sentences sink below the surface until they become silent certainties. And tomorrow begins to match them. Because when your subconscious is programmed to expect wealth, the world outside has no choice but to obey. That's not magic. That's alignment. That's what happens when you stop trying to get rich and start remembering you already are. Tonight, the bank is open. Make your deposit count. Money responds to relaxation. You've been taught that abundance demands striving, that the path to prosperity looks like hustle, like working late into the night, pushing, plotting, proving. But what if everything you've been told about money was backwards? What if wealth doesn't respond to stress, but repels from it? What if money doesn't follow your force, but flocks to your frequency? Here's the truth most people miss. The energy of abundance is not frantic. It's not grasping or impatient. It's soft, grounded, steady, certain, and above all, relaxed. Because money is not just numbers in a bank account. It's energy. It's vibration. And when your nervous system is bound up in fear, urgency, or tightness, it's like trying to tune into a symphony while standing in the middle of a siren. You miss the rhythm. You lose the signal. And wealth, which is always broadcasting, can't get through when your channel is clogged with resistance. But here's the miracle hiding in plain sight. The moment you relax, something opens. Have you ever noticed how the best ideas come when you're in the shower? Or how creativity floods in when you're on a walk? Eyes soft, mind clear? That's no accident. It's because receptivity lives in relaxation. So does wealth. Wealth is an energy that flows to where it feels safe, where it feels welcomed, and safety begins inside your body. This is why your bedtime state matters so deeply. Because the moments before sleep, your most impressionable, magnetic, subconscious state, form the energetic mold from which tomorrow takes shape. And if you go to sleep, gripping, wrestling thoughts like, I need more. What if it doesn't work? How will I pay that bill? You are scripting worry into your dream life. You are casting scarcity into the fertile soil of your subconscious, and your reality has no choice but to mirror that tension. But tonight, that changes. Tonight, you begin to create safety, not just mentally, but somatically. You let the body settle. You soften your breath. You light the candle, play the music, run the bath, or sit with stillness. Maybe you place your hand over your heart and whisper, I am safe. No big performance, no 10-step protocol, just one sacred thing. Soften. Because here's what most people don't realize. Relaxation is not a luxury. It's not just something nice for your nervous system. It is a wealth signal. It tells the universe, I trust. I already have. I am already held. This is the frequency that draws in opportunities while others are chasing. That opens doors with whispers while others are knocking harder and harder. When your body learns how safety feels, your reality adapts to meet that expectation. The nervous system is always listening, and right before bed, it is highly tuned. So infuse it with serenity, saturate it with safety. Teach it that tonight there is nothing to fix, nothing to fear, nothing to prove. There is only space, and in that space, money moves. Let's be clear. This is not spiritual bypassing. This is not pretending problems don't exist. This is power, true power. Because when you train your being to return to calm, even in the face of the unknown, You take your destiny out of reaction and place it gently into the hands of divine identity. You become the version of you who trusts her own wealth enough to inhale deeply and smile before she sleeps. Picture this now. You're in your bed. The soft hum of night surrounds you. There's no to-do list in your mind. There's only a golden glow of knowing. I don't chase anything. It comes to me. Money knows my address. Wealth knows my name. My peace is magnetic. My calm calls in miracles. My rest is my ritual. Breathe this in, slowly and fully. Relax deeper than you did last night. Not because it will make something happen, but because it opens you to what's already on its way. Let your body feel the fullness of being supported. Let each exhale say, I trust. Let the fibers of your being register this as your new normal. Because the most magnetic thing in the world, louder than strategy, stronger than effort, is a relaxed human being who believes they're worthy of wealth. Tonight, don't reach for it. Rest in it. And watch how money starts showing up without the fight. The feeling is the formula. Close your eyes for just a moment and feel the weight of money in your hands. Not pretend money. Real. Crisp. Yours. Hear the soft shuffle of bills, the reassuring beep of payment approved. Breathe in the scent of a new space. A home, a car, a passport stamped with freedom. Feel your shoulders drop. A quiet knowing hums beneath the surface. It's done. It's here. You didn't wish for it. You didn't hustle it into existence. You felt it into your life. That's the moment everything changes. Because in the language of the universe, feeling is the command. Reality doesn't respond to your words. It responds to your emotional signature, the invisible frequency your body carries when you're alone in the dark, drifting off to sleep. When your mind quiets, your soul speaks. And it speaks in feelings, not hope, not logic, but deep cellular resonance that says, this is who I am now. For decades, mystics and modern teachers alike have whispered the truth. Neville Goddard, who understood the blueprint of reality like few others, didn't tell you to wish, wait, or struggle. He said, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, not tomorrow, not when your circumstances permit. Now, why would he say that? Because reality doesn't happen to you. It happens through you. Everything you've ever called into existence, every moment of lack or abundance, struggle or ease, began with a feeling, a lived inner experience that settled into your subconscious and played out on the screen of your life. The good news, you can choose that feeling. You can rehearse it. You can imprint your subconscious with it until it stops being a temporary emotional high and becomes your new default setting. And bedtime is your most potent stage. The truth is, there is no manifestation without embodiment. Visualization without feeling is theater. Affirmations without sensation are just noise. The universe ignores thoughts that don't touch your nervous system. But the moment you feel wealthy, without needing the numbers to prove it, the moment you carry the sensation of abundance into sleep, your subconscious begins shaping a world that matches it. Feelings are the pipeline, not just to money, but to identity. So tonight, you don't just think about being wealthy. You feel what wealth feels like inside your body. You don't imagine paying off debt from hope. You feel the vibrant lightness of being debt-free. You embody the power of breathing easy, of choosing luxury without guilt, of knowing every desire is already funded. You let your nervous system memorize the feeling it's been yearning for, as if it's already happened. What would change if for the next 7 nights you didn't pray from lack, but rested in gratitude as if it was already yours? What if your bedtime wasn't a wind down, but an energetic role play? Not desperate hoping, confident assuming, not effort, frequency. The walls don't need to hear your affirmations. You do. And more importantly, your subconscious must feel them. It needs to believe your voice is the narrator of reality, not a wishful echo in the dark. So let the words be infused with embodiment. You don't say, "I want more money." You close your eyes, feel your body breathe easier, and you whisper, "Everything I need is already mine. Abundance flows to me like breath. I am the frequency money recognizes and returns to." Repeat it, but not with urgency, with calm certainty. When you pair words with feeling, you hypnotize your subconscious, not in a trance of delusion, but in a state of truth deeper than circumstances. You begin rehearsing the future as if it has already passed, and your subconscious, which doesn't know the difference between imagination and lived reality, begins programming outcomes to match. This is the ultimate surrender, not letting go in fear, but letting go because you already know. There is no rush, no more waiting, just the quiet confidence of already having. Tonight, don't ask, don't reach, don't hope. Breathe it, feel it, wear it like a second skin beneath the sheets. Let your bed become the altar where you anoint yourself with inevitability. This isn't about tricking the universe. It's about aligning with the vibration that it responds to without fail. You are not requesting the life you want. You are stepping into it through feeling. Because when you feel like it's already yours, it is. And when that sensation becomes your standard, money starts chasing you. Detach to attract. You felt it, haven't you? That tight grip, that clench in your chest when you check your bank account. Again, the quiet whisper in the back of your mind that wonders if you're doing enough, becoming enough, manifesting fast enough. It's the temptation to keep checking the soil the moment after you've planted the seed. But what you really need in this moment, especially before sleep, is not more effort. It's release. Because manifesting wealth isn't about grabbing at the outcome. It's about letting go with trust so deep it becomes magnetic. Here's the paradox no one tells you when they first introduce manifestation. Wanting something so badly that you obsess, grasp, and force it into being only pushes it away. Wanting without trusting is fertile ground for lack. The universe responds not to your words, but to your energy. And if your energy screams, "I don't have it yet," you build a wall between you and abundance. This is why detachment isn't disinterest. It's confidence. It's calm. It's the boldly quiet belief that says, "It's already mine, and I don't need to see it right now to know it's on its way." That's the kind of energy that money finds irresistible. You've already learned the power of the subconscious in these sacred nighttime hours. Your mind is a sponge here, not questioning, not doubting, just absorbing. So what happens when you enter sleep, drenched in desperation, checking the clock of your life and wondering, when will it come? You program more waiting, more grasping, more unfinished becoming. But tonight, you shift. Tonight, you exhale. You lay your body down, not as someone hoping, but as someone holding. You don't need to chase anymore. You don't need to stare at the ceiling rehearsing plans or spinning solutions. The doing is done. The field has been planted. Now your job is to remember that the manifestation already exists. And your only responsibility now is to soften yourself enough to meet it. Have you ever noticed how water finds its own level when it's left alone? That's your wealth. That's your destined prosperity. When you remove the pressure, the resistance, the conditions, the flow begins again. Tonight, you get to ground yourself in that divine, relaxed certainty, where there's nothing more to prove, nothing more to earn. You don't have to fix anything. You don't have to win the lottery tomorrow. You don't have to know how it's coming. In fact, the less you know, the easier it flows. Detachment doesn't mean you're giving up. It means you're giving the universe room to do what it does best: deliver. Say this as you exhale into your sheets. I trust the unseen. I've already sent the signal. Now I allow the return. Feel that subtle shift? That dropping into trust. That's the space where abundance enters without friction. That's the vibration money listens to. Not begging, but belief. You already cast the mold, the feeling of wealth. You've danced in the identity of someone who has, not someone who waits. That identity does not need to patrol the outcome. That identity doesn't question the soil or dig up the seeds mid-growth. That identity blesses the moment, releases the grip, and smiles inwardly, knowing the harvest is inevitable. Let your final thoughts tonight be whispers of surrender. Let your body become a sacred ground, where the energy of enoughness can finally land and take root. Let go, just for tonight and every night that follows. Because when you fully release, when there is no fear in your heart or friction in your chest, you stop vibrating the frequency of lack. And without that old noise, wealth knows exactly where to find you. Let that be the moment it starts chasing you. You're ready now. Wealthy sleep rituals. Wealth doesn't start in the bank. It starts in the body, in the breath, in the quiet moments you gift yourself before the world goes silent. For most people, nighttime is a scramble, rushing through routines, mentally reviewing what didn't get done, or numbing out with screens until their eyelids surrender. But you're different now. You know. You've tasted what happens when you approach sleep not as a shutdown, but as a sacred activation. This chapter is your invitation to transform your nights into rituals of receiving. Because when ritual meets repetition inside the portal of sleep, magic happens. And not the kind of magic you hope for. The kind that becomes inevitable. Wealthy people sleep differently. Not because of the thread count on their sheets or the size of their bedrooms, but because of the energy they bring into their rest. They end their days inside certainty. They don't close their eyes in scarcity or scrambled thoughts of not enough. They rest with the knowing that what they desire is already moving toward them, that life is on their side, that abundance doesn't need to be earned, it needs to be aligned with. You can cultivate that same energy starting tonight. Imagine this. You step into your room and already something feels different. The air feels a little lighter, calmer. You've dimmed the lights because you understand now. The subconscious doesn't speak in spreadsheets. It speaks in sensation. You light a candle or power up your essential oil diffuser. Something subtle but intentional. A scent that smells like safety, like home, like being held by life itself. You take a moment, even just 1 minute, to place your hand on your heart and speak, softly, intentionally, the truth you want to harden into fact. I am already surrounded by wealth. I no longer seek it. I allow it. Notice how that feels. Not rushed, not desperate, just true. Some nights, it might look like a 5-minute ritual. Other nights, you'll want to melt into a full immersion. Bath, breathwork, deep visualization, the works. But what matters most is consistency over intensity. The body learns through rhythm. The subconscious listens in patterns. When you create a bedtime cadence centered on wealth, your energy starts taking orders from your identity, not your circumstances. This isn't about perfection. Some nights, you'll feel the presence of money so clearly you'll swear you can smell the leather of your new car, or feel the cool metal of the upgraded fridge handle in your dream kitchen. Other nights, you'll be tired or numb or unsure, and that's okay too. Because even in the moments when you don't feel it fully, the ritual still carries. The act of choosing it is enough. The signal is sent. The identity is reinforced. You can add touch points that anchor abundance even deeper. A specific audio you play every night. Perhaps affirmations set to binaural tones that rewire belief. A journal by your bed where you write as if your manifestations already happened. Today, I received $1,000 out of nowhere. All I did was show up as me. The mind believes what it sees repeated. The heart believes what it senses. So let your version of wealth be something you rehearse nightly, not from want, but from arrival. Because here's the thing. The universe is not judging what you say you want. It's reading your vibration. And your vibration is most impressionable before bed. When your consciousness loosens its grip and your subconscious opens its vault. That moment, the one most people waste on worry, is where your new financial reality begins taking shape. So shape it wisely. Speak gently and confidently as you lay your head down. Whisper things like, "Money rests easy with me," or "I breathe in trust, I exhale doubt. Everything I need is on its way." It may feel strange in the beginning, but keep going. Wealth speaks the language of repetition. And don't neglect your physical space. Whether your bedding is luxury linen or not, make it feel like paradise. Not for aesthetic's sake, but because your body reads environment as instruction. If your bedroom feels abundant, your nervous system begins associating money with peace, not pressure. This is not faking it. This is informing your inner world of what's now true. You're no longer lying in bed as someone hoping to become wealthy. You're lying in bed as someone who simply is. Someone who knows their worth, who knows their energy is their currency, who knows the portal of sleep is the vault where reality gets rewritten. Let others chase sleep like an escape. You use it as initiation. Tonight, when the world goes dark and your eyes begin to close, don't just go to sleep. Arrive in wealth. Dress your energy for who you already are becoming. Because once you do this consistently, you won't just fall asleep. You'll fall into alignment. And that's when money starts chasing you, even while you dream. Assume it and let it happen. Close your eyes for a moment. Now, imagine a version of you who never worries about money. She walks differently, doesn't she? Her shoulders are relaxed. Her breath settles deeper in the belly. Her smile doesn't need to be forced. It rises naturally, like the morning sun. She doesn't check her bank account with dread. She checks it with ease. sometimes even forgetting to check at all. Because what's the need when wealth has become the norm? That version of you is not a fantasy. It's not a goal you reach after a 10-step plan or when the stars finally align. That version of you already exists right now in the invisible field of possibility, waiting on one thing: your assumption. What if, instead of trying to get rich, you stopped and simply assumed, "I already am"? This is the essence of the law of assumption. Not hoping, not pleading, not even visualizing with fingers crossed, but owning, embodying, stepping into the feeling of it already done. And here's the part that most people miss. Assuming isn't pretending. Assuming is choosing. With your entire energy, with your breath, with your focus, with your being. And the most powerful moment to carry that assumption into the subconscious? The moment before sleep. See, when you drift to sleep in the energy of lack, when you're repeating doubts or replaying problems, your subconscious accepts that frequency as truth. It doesn't filter or analyze. That final signal becomes the code it runs while you dream. But what happens when you fall asleep as a wealthy person? Not someone trying to manifest money, but someone whose nervous system and heart already accepts herself as abundant. You wake up in a different timeline. You begin to meet circumstances that match the certainty you fell asleep with. You get emails you weren't expecting. Efforts you made weeks ago suddenly produce fruit. People offer opportunities without you having to chase or pitch. It starts to feel like magic, but it's not. It's simply you aligning your subconscious blueprint with the reality you desire and letting it do the heavy lifting while you rest. Neville Goddard said, "Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and continue in that assumption until it becomes your dominant feeling." That is your job before bed. Not problem solving, not fixing, just becoming. Your mind might resist at first. It might say things like, "But the money isn't here yet." That's okay. Let it speak. And then, inform it otherwise. You don't need to fight your thoughts. You just need to rise higher in frequency and let your assumption become louder than your logic. Try this tonight. Lay down, breathe slowly, and begin to feel into the version of you who already has what you once desired. Not a caricature, not a fantasy self full of fake confidence, but the deeply relaxed, generous, magnetic you. What does everyday life feel like for her? How does she spend money? How does she receive it? What does she assume about money? That it's complicated? Or that it's just energy, eager to flow to the calm? Now assume something powerful. Assume, money comes to me while I sleep. Assume, my wealth is inevitable. Assume, I am already supported in more ways than I can count. Say it softly. Say it with heart. Say it like you're tucking your soul into bed. Assumption shifts everything. Because assumption doesn't negotiate. It becomes law. And your world, your outer circumstances, must follow. You don't have to figure out the how. That's not your role. Your work is the being. Your work is the becoming. When you assume wealth is your normal experience, you stop performing. You stop pushing. You don't convince. You calibrate. Because wealth isn't attracted to wanting. It's magnetized to the one who doesn't ask permission to feel rich now. Let tonight be the night you change timelines, not through effort, not through waiting, but with one soft, powerful choice: to assume your reality before you experience the evidence. Because here's the truth: the evidence follows energy. You are not the version of you trying to manifest abundance. You are the version of you. Abundance is chasing because it longs to come home to someone who finally believes in it. So lay down, assume it, and let it happen. Wake up to miracles. There's a silence that lives in the early morning, not the kind born from the absence of noise, but the kind that hums with possibility. When you've fallen asleep in the energy of wealth, you don't just wake up to another day. You wake up swimming in a new identity. You've crossed through the night as something else, someone else. No longer the version of you that hoped abundance would show up, but the one who knows it already has. The first breath, after rising, is soaked in the afterglow of your subconscious creation. And if you listen closely, you'll notice something has shifted. Not always dramatically, not always loudly, but subtly. Like the gentle current pulling you in a new direction. Small synchronicities begin to show up. Someone texts, a forgotten check arrives, a random opportunity falls into your lap. And maybe it doesn't look like $1 million yet, but it feels like confirmation. It feels like the universe nodding back at you, whispering, yes, you're in. This is how miracles show up. Not always in gold-plated boxes, but in the little nudges that prove you are now tuned into a different stream. Money is no longer hiding. It's scanning for you. And the more nights you sleep in assumption, the more mornings you rise as the version of you who money can't ignore. What makes the magic real is not the ritual itself. It's the identity you're carrying between those final thoughts at night and your first thoughts in the morning. It's waking up and remembering the truth before fear, before logic, before doubt can put their shoes on and stomp through your thoughts. The momentum of your miracle begins in that window, when your mind is still porous and your soul is still whispering, "It's working, keep going." Each morning becomes a mirror, no longer a reflection of your old self, but a revelation of what's unfolding inside you. You're noticing what you speak is becoming real faster, that people treat you differently, that your energy feels cleaner, more magnetic. You trust more, you grasp less, and money, it tastes different now because it's no longer something you reach for. It's something that reaches for you. This is the part where most people trip. They see miracles start and panic. They question, is this real? They revert in disbelief, but not you. Because you understand by now that it's not about whether it's real. It's about whether you're ready to receive it. And every night you go to sleep in that knowing, you're planting deeper roots. You're becoming unshakable. You're not the same. Imagine waking up tomorrow and feeling no urgency, no rush to manifest, no worry, just you, walking in alignment with the life already forming behind the scenes. Do you realize how rare that state is? That's power. That's vibrational sovereignty. Most are still trying to chase money with logic, but you've left that game behind. You've chosen to receive with identity. And the best part? Every small miracle that floods your morning is only the beginning. These aren't flukes. They're feedback. Evidence that what you assumed the night before is now rippling outward. You're in the quantum now, the land where versions collapse into reality simply because you decided they were already true. It doesn't happen with strain. It doesn't happen with punishment. It happens softly. The way sunlight creeps through the blinds. The way a new day reveals itself while you're still halfway dreaming. You don't wake up to a miracle because you tried harder. You wake up to a miracle because you finally believed long enough to let it arrive. So tomorrow, when you open your eyes, don't ask, "Will it work?" Instead, whisper to yourself, "It already has." Let your next breath be a celebration. Let your feet hit the ground with gratitude instead of urgency. And watch. Watch how the world, still rubbing its own eyes, just barely waking up, shows you what you've called in while you slept. This is your new normal. Miraculous mornings, born from abundant nights. The shift has happened. Now, receive it. You don't work for money. Money works for you. What if tonight you let go of everything you've ever been taught about earning? What if, for once, you allowed yourself to believe, no, to remember that money was never meant to be your master, but your servant? Close your eyes for a moment and breathe. Feel the silence around you, the stillness, the safety of this moment. There is no deadline here, no pressure, no account to check, no debt to calculate, just this truth, softly rising in your body like a tide. You were never meant to chase money. You were meant to command it, with your energy, your identity, your remembering. Because here's what most people don't know. Money isn't created through relentless work. It responds to consciousness. Action matters, yes, but aligned action. Not frantic effort from the frequency of lack, but clear intention from the frequency of wholeness. That change in awareness is what flips the system. That's when money stops being a condition and starts becoming a reflection, a mirror of your inner certainty. You may have been taught that money is earned through hours, sweat, sacrifice. Maybe that belief was passed down, generation to generation, etched into the rhythm of your days. But what if the people who taught you that were simply repeating what they had to survive? What if your soul came to upgrade the pattern, not repeat it? You are not here to survive. You are here to remember. And the moment you remember who you really are, an energetic command center, a field of unwavering attraction, the rules start to bend in your favor. Quietly, radically, irreversibly. This is the chapter many don't reach, not in books, but in belief. Because this is where the identity shifts from being someone who must get wealth to someone who naturally generates it. Someone for whom wealth is not a reward, but a reflection. Feel that for a moment. You don't work for money. Money works for you. Let those words settle in your body. Not like a catchy affirmation, but like a truth you forgot and are finally returning to. Say them softly in your mind. Money works for me. I allow it to serve my vision. I invite it without pressure. I receive it without apology. I direct it without fear. Now bring that energy into your sleep. Tonight, instead of worrying about how to earn more, shift into the certainty that money is already being summoned by the frequency you are now radiating. Let the version of you who is already wealthy crawl into bed, pull the covers over abundance, and drift into sleep as if money has become your assistant, not your obstacle. Money is not sovereign. You are. And all wealth must obey its source, your belief. You do not need to be rich to feel wealth before bed. You just need to be willing to receive a new identity, an identity that isn't tied to output, but to overflow, not tied to burnout, but to embodiment. Because in truth, your wealth doesn't come from how much you do. It flows from how deeply you believe it's already yours. And when your internal world becomes the blueprint, the external cannot help but follow. So make no mistake, tonight is not the end of a chapter. It's the beginning of a new contract with reality. One where you no longer feel indebted to life, but become the author of overflow. One where you no longer count hours, but generate worlds. You are not someone who needs to make more. You are someone who allows money to show up, serve your vision, and multiply your impact. You are not chasing money anymore. You are carrying the magnetic pulse of prosperity into your sleep, into your cells, into the shape of who you've become. Rest now. Let your body dissolve into the soft certainty that you are already wealthy in your being, that every dollar you require is already orbiting you, just waiting for your permission to land. No urgency, no doubt, only truth. Money works for you now because you finally stopped chasing and started remembering who you really are.